From Baudry, it's the first round of the Class 5A state playoffs as this afternoon the homestanding Hahnville Tigers entertained District 7 5A rival, the Thibodaux Tigers. And a pleasant good afternoon to you, Ken Trahan, joined by Lenny Van Gilder. Glad to have you with us for this opening round prep baseball state playoff game. The 8th-seeded Hahnville Tigers coming in with a record of 24-10, having gone 10-2. It finished second in District 7 5A against the Thibodaux Tigers, who were 14-17, 5-7 in the district. Starting lineup for Thibodaux here this afternoon, leading off in center field, Tyler Brown. Bennett Knockham, the shortstop, hits second. Noah Claymont in left field. Aaron Lee is the catcher. Austin Ford batting fifth in right field. Saul Barlow is the third baseman batting sixth. It's Bryce Daigle, the DH, hitting seventh. Philip Benoit, the pitcher, bats eighth. Seth Boudreau is at second base, batting ninth. Hayes Talbot is the first baseman, not hitting in the lineup, and they oppose the left-handed offerings of the senior, the ace of the Hahnville staff, Austin Parent. As mentioned, Lenny Van Gilder with us. Lenny, great to have you with us, and Hahnville taking no chances, going with their best here this afternoon in Austin Parent.
No, and when it's one and done, you can't take any chances. And David Baudry used all of his top three pitchers on Saturday against Catholic High, gave them each a couple of innings. So we'll see just how long Perrin goes here this afternoon, but he's prepared to use him as long as he needs to, and based on the numbers he's put up this year, you can't blame him. 6-2 with an ERA of exactly 1, 86 strikeouts in 56 innings of work, just 32 hits allowed, and only 12 walks. We've seen him seemingly for about 8 years now. He's been
Tyler Brown leads it off, the center fielder, and it's high, so we're underway. A minute early at 3:59. Brown hitting .368, no homers, and 13 driven in. Right-handed hitter with speed, 1-0. And it is 2-0, just missing low. Thibodaux wearing their black jerseys this afternoon with purple numerals trimmed in white. White pants to go along with that. So the dark look up top. And he went after the 2-0 pitch, and now it's 2 balls and a strike. Knockham and Claymont to follow. Very interesting. The wind had been blowing in all afternoon. 1-2, pardon me. 1-2, the first pitch was called a strike. And now the wind is not blowing in. Swing and a miss, so he struck him out. So one gone, Brown is gone, and Bennett Knockham will bat as he will stand in from the right side. But again, looking at the wind, it was blowing straight in when I got here about 1:30 this afternoon, and had been blowing straight in as of about 10 minutes ago, Lenny, but now it's kind of blowing across toward right.
Yeah, it could help a ball towards hit down the right field line. And we'll see how it continues to play as the afternoon goes along, as it warms up a little bit.
Bennett Knockham, the shortstop, doesn't get the first offering. .289 batter, no homers. 15 RBI for Knockham, who's a junior, 5'11", 161 pounds. Combination player for Coach Mark Gonzalez. 0-1. Just missed the outside edge. 3-man crew, as is the case in playoff action. For those not familiar, regular season, it's 2-man crews in high school baseball in Louisiana. 1-1. And off speed high. Hahnville in their home whites today, purple piping over the sides, and of course the purple numerals, two-tone caps. Easy to read. We like it. 2-1. And now 3 balls and a strike as he missed with the breaking ball down and in.
Well, even though these two are district rivals, Thibodaux has not seen a lot of Perrin, especially this year.
And a 3-1 is a strike called, so it's full 3 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, the two teams know each other very well, having played twice. It was Hahnville winning 3-0 on April the 4th and winning again 19-7 on April the 19th. Ball 4 outside, so first base runner is a 1-out walk to Bennett Knockham here in the first inning.
Next up to the plate is number 4.
And now Noah Claymont, the left fielder, bats at .299 with 11 driven in. Bennett Knockham, the runner down at first base, and Knockham with 5 stolen bases and 6 attempts. Parent does a pretty good job of holding runners on, having seen him previously. Center fielder Miguez, very shallow. And a strike called on a breaking ball to Claymont. Of course, Lenny, they know each other very well, so positioning is likely pretty intelligent.
Yeah, it wasn't like these two coaches had to scramble to get a scouting report on Sunday when the brackets came out.
Back foot throw to first. Knockhand returns.
And this is a Thibodaux team that does not have a home run in the regular season. Hahnville only hit 2, so even though this park has potential to allow some home runs, they don't hit them.
Fast strike is called, and it's 0-2. Thibodaux comes in having lost 7 of its last 10, but they did beat North Vermilion 9-4 on Saturday. Hahnville, conversely, has won 12 of its last 14, although they lost to Division I power Catholic High 4-1 here on Saturday. Swing and a miss. So Claymont gone on strikes. 2 punch-outs here for Perrin with a walk mixed in, and now Aaron Lee, the cleanup batter and catcher, will bat.
Next up for Thibodaux, number 6, Aaron Lee.
264 hitter with 16 driven in. And the center fielder, Miguez, doesn't move. He's been shallow for everyone and slightly to the off field as well. Good off-speed pitch, gets ahead. Perrin, a pretty fast worker. Another good off-speed pitch, but didn't get the call, and it's 1-1.
One thing you like about a pitcher who plays the field when he's not pitching like Perrin does is those guys have a tendency to work a little bit quicker than what you would expect a regular pitcher, because they know is when they're in the field playing defense, they want pitchers working quickly. And
now a ball and 2 strikes. Austin Perrin ahead here. Perrin, 56 innings pitched, most on the club. 11 appearances. This is his 9th start. 6-2. And the ERA is superb at 1. Just 32 hits in those 56 innings and only 8 earned runs and just 12 walks and 86 strikeouts. A totally dominant pitcher, as evidenced by his whip, which is 0.78 toward first, foul. And it holds at 1-2.
Yeah, it's one of the first things that I look for when I'm looking at pitchers' numbers. ERA can be a number of factors in terms of that. You can have some good and bad fortune in there, but the guys who allow less than a base runner per inning, that just shows you how dominant they can be.
Missing away, so it's even at 2-2. Again, Perrin pretty good at holding runners, and he's quick to the plate, so difficult to run on him.
He'll be headed to Lafayette next year to pitch for the Ragin' Cajuns.
Off speed and got the call. We have to wait. We could hear it, but no indication. Struck out the side. A runner stranded on base. So we go to the bottom of the first with the Hahnville Tigers coming to bat with no score. Ken Trahan, Lenny Van Gilder, you are watching the first NBC Prep Showcase here on SportsNOLA.com. Bottom of the first arrives with no score. Let's check the lineup for the Hahnville Tigers. Under the direction of Dave Baudry, leading off at shortstop, Waylon LeBlanc. K. Miguez is in center field. Hunter LeBlanc in left field. Matt Champagne in right field. Austin Perrin does the pitching. Second inning begins with no score. Ken Trahan and Lenny Van Gilder. First pitch to Austin Ford is up high for a ball. Ford to be followed by Barlow and Daigle against Austin Perrin, who struck out the side with a walk mixed in the first inning. Popped up right side out of play, so the count is even at a ball and a strike. On Ford, he's driven in 17 on the year. They go to the bottom of the second, not far away, Destrehan. No score between Destrehan and Walker in the opening round of the state playoffs. Again, fouled out of play, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Destrehan, the 6th seed. Walker, a perennial playoff team, not a particularly easy draw for being the 6th seed. Remember last year they played a memorable opening round game against Rummel. Breaking ball strike, great pitch. So Perrin has fanned all 4 of the outs he's recorded thus far. Takes care of Ford and now deals with Saul Barlow.
What's that new term now that has become so popular in baseball? True outcomes. There's only 3 true outcomes: walk, strikeout, home run. Everything else depends on something else. So far, it's either been walk or strikeout for Austin Perrin.
Parkway and Central are no score in the middle of the 2nd inning in 5A as well this afternoon. Off the end of the bat, foul. Barlow offering up the first pitch from Perrin, who's done a nice job of changing speeds early in this game.
Yeah. One thing he definitely knows is how to pitch. He's not a guy who's just going to blow you away, although he's obviously got very good stuff, but he really knows how to pitch.
Good fastball, and it's 0-2.
Goes out, goes in, works up and down in the zone. Pinpoint control is suggested by his numbers.
Missing away with a show-me fastball to make it 1-2. Daigle on deck here. 3:15 down the lines here at the Hahnville ballpark. 3:40 to the gaps, 3:55 to center. Pretty much typical for on-campus facilities. Up the middle, that's going to be a base hit. So the first hit of the game is a one-out single by Saul Barlow here in the 2nd inning. Thibodaux with its first base runner, and Bryce Daigle will bat.
Next up to bat, number 9, Bryce Daigle.
Thibodaux does like to run. They've swiped 71 bases, and they've attempted 92 on the year. So they try to generate offense with their running game. Barlow is not one of those that does much running. 3 stolen bases. Tried to go the other way, and Daigle fouls it off, 0-1.
Big difference in strategies with these teams. 71 steals for Thibodaux in the year to 40 for Hahnville.
And the count evens up 1-1. Philosophy plays a role, but the biggest role is speed. If you have it, we'll travel. If you don't, it's kind of hard to manufacture it. A ball and a strike on Daigle. Thibodaux under the direction of Mark Gonzalez. Played at John Ehret for Mike Silva. Good coach. Snap throw to first. Second time we've seen the back foot move. Gonzalez previously coached at Morgan City. Went to Thibodaux as an assistant in 2014 and is in his 3rd year as the head coach of the Tigers. Nice breaking ball, waving at it Daigle, and it's 1-2. Spent time at the college level as well. Assistant coach on that level, including at Nichols. Coached American Legion ball in Canada, interestingly enough. And, of course, played some college baseball, too, at Huntington College. Runner running, throw is there, tagged out, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. Good throw. Candies, as we note, has always been good defensively. Waylon LeBlanc, good pick and tag, taking care of Barlow.
Yeah, Candies has been an outstanding defensive catcher for this Hahnville team for several years now, and hard guy to run on. And we've seen it many times before, and we see it right there.
Yeah, it's a bad combination. Pitcher that's tough to run on, catcher that's tough to run on. Over but high, so the count goes full at 3-2 on Daigle. Base is empty now with 2 outs.
And Perrin continues to work out of the stretch even with the bases empty.
And again, ahead of that breaking ball, you know he had to be looking fastball there, which is why he was way out in front. But Perrin, again, with good command, able to throw multiple pitches for strikes, regardless of the count. As the wind picks up a little bit again. Again, an incredibly pleasant afternoon. Not a cloud in the sky. Got him with a fastball. 5 strikeouts for Austin Perrin through 2 innings. We head to the bottom of the second in the Battle of the Tigers. Opening round of the 5A playoffs, no score here on the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase on SportsNOLA.com. Bottom of the second inning arrives with no score. Ken Trahan, Lenny Van Gilder with you from Baudry, and here in the second for the Tigers of Hahnville. You have to clarify that with Tigers. Austin Perrin will get it started. Josh Nunez and Bo Landry to follow. Not only are both teams Tigers, both are purple and gold. That's
wonder how that
fitting
happens.
with the theme, right?
Wonder how that happened.
Perrin takes it high and away from Benoit, his 17th pitch. 12 have been strikes. Struck out one in the first, gave a hit. Perrin taking all the way after showing bunt 2-0. Austin at 376, 28 driven in on the year.
Says the guy who's never worked at a place that was named Tigers or had purple and gold in their colors.
This one just missing the outer edge, so it's 3 balls and no strikes. And walked him. So, 4-pitch walk to Perrin. Good start for Hahnville in the second. Not so much for Thibodaux, which will bring Josh Nunez to the plate.
Next up, first baseman, number 13.
Nunez, the first baseman.
Josh Nunez.
A 236 batter, 16 driven in. The bunt, certainly a possibility here.
Nunez was the hero of our telecast a couple of weeks ago over Destrehan. Drove in the 1 run while we were still televising and then drew the bases loaded walk in the bottom of the 13th inning to win the resumption of that game a couple of weeks ago. Might be perhaps the game of the year in high school baseball in these parts.
Pitchers always get courtesy runners, and that is in fact the case here for Hahnville. Maxwell Farrell runs at first base for Perrin. And outside to Nunez, no indication of a bunt. Nunez with 16 RBI to go with his 236 average. And now a visit coming to the mound as Benoit has suddenly thrown 5 straight out of the zone. Maxwell Farrell, runner at first, has stolen 4 bases on the year, so first visit to the mound here following the leadoff walk. Here in the second inning with no score, these district rivals who know each other extremely well. A good relationship existing between the two. And obviously, that starts with the head coaches, Mark Gonzalez and David Baudry. Talked about Mark. Well, of course, Dave has been doing this for a long time at a very high level, whether it's been as a head coach, an assistant coach, wherever he's been at Archbishop Shaw or Jesuit or Archbishop Rummel here at Hahnville. It's been outstanding.
No doubt, one of the veteran coaches in our area, and like you said, he's excelled just about wherever he's been. Terrific baseball mind.
And a strike is called. So visit always seems to pay off, doesn't it? 1-1 the count. Just a little calming influence, something like, hey, how you feeling today? Did you get enough to eat earlier? You got plans later? Okay, go throw a strike. Thank you. Here we go. And guess what? He throws another, and it's 1-2. I know a lot of people wonder about these visits to the mound and what goes on. And from experience, I can tell you that some of them are mechanical comments in nature. and tiffs, but a lot of it is just about calming guys down and breaking up a bad rhythm. Pitch away, and it's 2-2. Talked to Jim Hickey about that, who's been a major league pitching coach now for the better part of a decade with Houston and Tampa Bay, and he told me oftentimes it's just being a philosopher. It's really not as much technique as you think. 2-2, breaking ball popped up. Center fielder locates it. Brown is there, and he's got it. Returning to first is Farrell.
First, I wasn't sure if the center fielder had located it. Ken, the arms kind of went out as if to say, wait, I'm not sure I see this, but didn't move much and was right in his tracks.
That was the benefit for him, as he was positioned correctly, and he had to move. It might have been a problem when you don't see it initially. Here's Bo Landry, the DH. Left-handed hitter took a ball. Landry at 182. He's driven in 2 runs on the year, getting an opportunity this afternoon at junior. Landry, good size, stands upright from the left side. And now 2-0. Well, the numbers would suggest that command would be the thing to watch with Benoit. First inning went fine. He's walked one here in the second and fallen behind a hitter 2-0. Good pitch over the inside edge. It's 2-1.
And you can't, again, just look at the walks. 17 walks in 40 innings doesn't seem like a bad thing, but 24 hit batters, it's basically a free base runner per inning that he's allowed this year.
2-1 pitch. And over but down. It's 3-1. Favorable pitch here to put something on if you're Dave Baudry. I'm watching him right now. He just kind of looked away, which indicates to me that nothing's on. And ball 4, so it's 2 on and 1 out on a pair of base on balls issued by Benoit, which gets Mason Candies to the plate. Candies, the fine catcher, 207. A couple of RBIs for Mason. Now a senior. Way up in the zone as Benoit's lost contact with the plate here in the second inning.
Mason's a good on-base guy despite the average. He's got 17 walks on the year, .336 on-base percentage.
Now the 1-0 pitch, and that is a strike call, 1-1. Again, we have to wait for the signal. I could hear the faint strains of strike. 1-1 the count. And he hit him. Well, as if on cue, the stat comes home to roost, and the bases are full of Hahnville Tigers now with 1 out. So the number accelerates in that very bad category of hit batsman for Philip Benoit. Not at all what he wanted. 25 on the year now. Lloyd Landry with a big opportunity. Hitting about .22, has driven in 5 and has a big opportunity here.
Key thing here, put one in play, preferably a fly ball to the outfield. Get something in the air to drive in the run.
From the full windup, and guess what? He hit him. And it's 1-0 Hahnville. So not more than 30 seconds after Lenny told you about the stat, we've seen 2 hit batsmen, and Hahnville takes a 1-0 lead, and possible big inning in progress here. And none of it on the part of Hahnville. It's been all the lack of control by Benoit. 6th RBI of the season for Landry in a 1-0 game.
Again, as if on cue, action beginning to get underway down in the Thibodaux bullpen.
So here's Waylon LeBlanc with an opportunity. Central leads Parkway 2-0 as they go to the 3rd inning in 5A. LeBlanc popped up to first his first time. Now he works from the stretch. That's interesting. He elected to work from the windup to the previous hitter with the bases loaded and hit a batter. So now he goes to the stretch and gets a strike into LeBlanc, who wants to add to his 15 RBI. Snaps off a breaking ball, but it's high, 1-1.
That Central Parkway game, I believe, is the 7:26 game. Parkway, you watch the PowerPoints here for the last 2 or 3 days to see how these brackets might shape up. It looked like Parkway had a chance to come here and play Hahnville in the first round. That's the way it was stacking up for quite a while as that pitch misses in the dirt, 2 balls and a strike. But it's, you got to go down to the last day, and especially with those teams down in the lower half of the bracket in 5A, it didn't take much movement to move one of these teams a spot or two. It was very tight.
2-1 is high. Now it's 3-1.
Right, up top, everything pretty much stayed the same the last few days. Hahnville sat at 8 for quite a while. Their district rival Destrehan sat at 6, didn't move. And 8 was the magic number because 8 obviously gets your home game in the first round, but it also gets you that second round series at home if you win in the first round.
Ball 4, and it's a 2-0 game. So Waylon LeBlanc gets his 16th run driven in. Scoring on the play is Bo Landry. Bases remain loaded, and it's 2-0 Hahnville. And in the bullpen for Thibodaux, number 12, Matt Benoit, the senior, ready to roll. He's going to come into the game. So Philip Benoit can only get through an inning and a third, just lost total command of the strike zone and departs. So it's one Benoit for another, as we'll get Matt Benoit, the senior, at 5'7", 152 pounds, coming on for Thibodaux here in the second inning. Well, Philip Benoit was able to throw strikes in the first, had a scoreless frame, but just wasn't able to maintain command of the strike zone in the second at all. And thus has to depart. Looks like Philip Benoit is going to stay in the game. He's still out on the field. But now we look at Matt Benoit. Tell us a little bit about his season today, Lennon.
Benoit's been used primarily out of the pen, so this is not an unusual role for him. It's his 15th appearance, which leads the team, his 12th in relief. 5-3, 1 save, a 2.98 ERA. Like Philip Benoit, is exactly 40 innings of work. He's allowed 50 hits, 26 runs, 17 earned, walked 15. He has struck out 21. We talked about Philip Benoit and his propensity to hit batters, 24 and 40 innings. Matt Benoit has not hit a batter in 40 innings of work. So that would be the big difference that jumps off the page to you right there. So we'll see if he can hold this situation right here at a 2-0 game. If you're Mark Gonzalez and Thibodaux, you want to be able to keep this thing right where it is, maybe give up one other run, because you know runs are going to be at a premium off Austin Perrin and this Hahnville pitching staff.
Continuing his warm-up tosses, Matt Benoit.
Interesting, was not listed on as a pitcher on their roster at the beginning of the year. 9 players were listed as pitchers, but not him, and he's put up, tied for the second most innings on this staff through the regular season.
3 walks, 2 hit batsmen, 2-0, bases loaded, 1 out.
And again, this you look at it from both sides here. Thibodaux needs to shut this down right where it is. Maybe you can allow one more run, but you want to get out of it right where it is and not much more. And if you're David Baudry in Hahnville, you see an opportunity to, with the meat of your order getting ready to come up here, 2-3, and then possibly the cleanup spot, a chance to really inflict some damage and get a little breathing room.
Cade Miguez struck out looking in the first inning against Philip Benoit. From the stretch, misses way outside. A great pluck by Lee behind the plate to save a run, as that pitch missed by a wide margin. Miguez, 17 driven in, looks to drum up the big inning here. Missing down and out. Another good pickup, and again, both pitches missed badly. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. And another. And he got the call there. We had to wait. And it's 2-1, a fastball. And again, wish I could help you out, but we just have to wait for the signal. I really don't think these guys understand that the people watching can't hear what you're saying for the most part. And that your immediate pronouncement makes a big difference. Hard to third, speared, throw to first, and a double play. What a big escape for Thibodaux here. Benoit pumped up. Barlow the catch. 5-3 on the putout. And they minimize the damage. 2 runs, no hits, and 2 men left. Hahnville's left 3. We've played 2. It's Hahnville 2 and Thibodaux nothing on the first NBC Prep Showcase at SportsNOLA.com. Top of the third inning, and it is 2-0 Hahnville over Thibodaux. And here in the third, it will be Philip Benoit to be followed by Seth Boudreau and then Tyler Brown for Thibodaux against Austin Perrin, who's thrown 35 pitches in 2 innings. He has walked 1 and struck out 5, and now armed with a 2-run lead. We'll pass some scores along in a moment. Philip Benoit is a .241 batter, 14 driven in, slowly toward third, playing in. Wise guns it. Nice pickup at first by Nunez for the out. So 1 pitch and 1 out. As Benoit is retired, Seth Boudreau will bat. As we tell you about one that is
number 7.
Going to catch your attention a little bit. Bottom of the 4th, Walker 1, Destrehan nothing.
Wow.
In 2A, the 19-seed Doyle 3-1 over the 14-seed Vinton, bottom of the 2nd. And takes 1 at the knees for a strike call, does Boudreau. .221 batter, 4 driven in. In Class 3A, North Vermilion leads Pine Prairie 2-0, top of the 3rd. No balls and 2 strikes now on Seth Boudreau as we keep you posted throughout the course of the afternoon as best we can. Here, Hahnville up 2-0 in the 3rd. Checked his swing on a breaker, didn't go, and it's 1-2. Just able to restrain himself from committing. And he got him. Strikeout number 6 for Austin Perrin, who marches on. Dominant early on.
What do you think about the idea that you're announcing these brackets on a Sunday afternoon and you're playing games on a Monday afternoon? And I understand completely why these teams are doing it, because if you win your first-round game, you want to make sure you're giving the pitcher that you're using today as much rest as possible for a second-round appearance.
Yeah, schools are doing the right thing. They play today, ball high, 1-0. I mean, listen, it's a knockout round, regardless of when you play it, and you want to have your pitching set up for 2 out of 3. No question about that. Swing and a miss.
That said, do you think the season should end a day or two earlier to give them more time to prepare?
Well, that's debatable.
Up?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly gives you more time. It gets the seed settled in quicker order, which is a relief to a lot of coaches. 1-2 the count now. They like to try to extrapolate forward and figure it out. I know coaches on the field today were talking about how things changed in a matter of a day or two. Swing and a miss, and that is yet another strikeout. The 7th for Perrin, who's been dominant. Nothing across for Thibodaux. Bottom of the 3rd is coming, and it remains 2-0 Hahnville on tap on the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase here at SportsNOLA.com. Bottom of the 3rd inning, 2-0 Hahnville on top of Thibodaux. And here in the 3rd, Matt Benoit, who got out of the last half inning with a double play liner, will face the heart of the Hahnville order. Hunter LeBlanc, Matt Champagne, and Austin Perrin. Philip LeBlanc went an inning and a third. He allowed 1 hit, 2 runs earned, walked 3, struck out 1, and hit 2 batters. Could lose, cannot win. First pitch. Sails outside to Hunter LeBlanc. And again, Matt Benoit, not a hard thrower either. Central leads Parkway 2-0. Bottom of the 3rd in 5A. 1-0 pitch. Off-speed pitch for a strike called. It's 1-1. Whalen has waylaid one over the boards this year. Couldn't resist. In the air, a mile high center field. Brown coming on, spots it there, put it away, 1 gone.
That's breaking news. They finally got Hunter LeBlanc out. After 2 games, he had reached 7 consecutive times.
And now Matt Champagne, who flied out to left to end the first. Brant Husser has just homered, and Central now leads 3-0 in their game over Parkway in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Missing away for ball 1. Mikhail Hilliard, really good pitcher for Central. Throws in the 90-mile-an-hour range, and certainly giving him a 3-run lead is going to help that team a lot in that situation. Outside edge pitch and called a ball. 2 balls and no strikes on Champagne.
Of course, now that we're into the playoffs, we start dealing with some pitching rules that were not in place in the regular season.
Certainly adds another element. Yeah. Strike is called 2-1.
Yeah, you could throw 14 innings in a week, 10 innings in a game.
Two balls and 1 strike. Toward 3rd. Throw across by Barlow is in time. Champagne retired, 2 outs.
Yeah. Speaking of the state playoffs, look over in the distance. Ken out beyond the center field fence. Hahnville's softball team is practicing on the football field to get ready for the turf surface that they will face at Fresh Park at Sulphur.
Jerry Nugent does an outstanding job. It's one of the best programs consistently in Louisiana.
Saw earlier today, St. Charles Catholic softball team was practicing on their baseball field, where, of course, they have the turf infield this year.
Strike call to Austin Perrin, who walked and scored last inning. Trying to help himself here. Already armed with a 2-0 lead. Breaking ball missed outside. So a ball and a strike on Austin Perrin. And now the count goes to 1-2.
Very nice physical plant they've assembled here at both Hahnville and Destrehan. The two St. Charles Parish schools have outstanding facilities. We've been to both of them many a times, yes, and we appreciate their hospitality having us out to be able to broadcast so many games.
Breaker bounced up there, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Whenever they get together and face each other, it's a great rivalry, and we've shown that in football and baseball.
2-2 the count, and another. Off-speed fouled out of play left side, so it holds at 2-2. Of course, at Destrehan, a storied basketball season for the girls team that went undefeated and won the 5A state championship. As Angie Butler coached her final season and now moves into senior administration. Kyra Urson, a fantastic year. Deep center field. Brown on the run. Got there. Got a good jump on it. Makes the play. Nothing across for Hahnville in the third. Matt Benoit getting outs. We go to the fourth. And it remains Hahnville 2 and Thibodaux nothing. Here on the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase at SportsNOLA.com. Two runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 3 left for Hahnville. It's no runs, a 1 hit, and no errors. 1 left for Thibodaux as we go to the fourth. And the heart of the order for Thibodaux here. Bennett Knockan, Noah Claymore, Aaron Lee against Austin Perrin, who's just been overwhelming. He struck out 7, walked 1 in 3 innings. He goes to work against Knockan in the fourth. Now, Knockan walked his first time up, and he takes 1 up for a ball. Thibodaux staying in touch in this game, which was they needed to do. Hahnville had a chance for the big inning. Didn't happen, and there's a roller to second for Landry. Easy chance, 1 out. Knockan retired. And the point being, Lenny, the longer that Thibodaux can stay in this game, the more confident they will get and the tighter it will be for Hahnville.
No doubt. And look, while Perrin has been dominant thus far, I think he needs more at-bats like the one that just happened. 2 pitches and a ground out to second. Everything doesn't have to be a strikeout. You can let your defense do some work behind you, minimize your pitch count.
Still only at 46 pitches, though. And jammed him, and Claymont in the hole. 0-1. Claymont struck out, swinging back in the first inning. Opposite field. Defensive alignment all the way here. 0-1. Missing in. Even at a ball and a strike
And Austin's a guy who you're probably going to have to go take the ball out of his hands at some point. If you remember last year, pitched in the first round and
got a strike in there. It's 1-2.
Yeah, so Hahnville won at home in the first round and then went and played Catholic High in Baton Rouge for the second round series. And instead of waiting a day, maybe to take 5 days rest to pitch on Saturday.
Got him. So that's number 8, Lenny.
Yeah, so he said, no, I want the ball on Friday night. I'll pitch on short rest, and then went out and beat Catholic High on Friday night to give his team a 1-0 lead in the series. Now, Catholic did come back and win the final 2 games on Saturday. But that just shows you the Bulldog mentality that he has.
Aaron Lee struck out looking to end the first inning. And Parent gets ahead here. As mentioned, even though he's striking out hitters with regularity, he's not really building a pitch count in the process. Foul back, 0-2. When you strike people out, sometimes it takes 6 pitches, 8 pitches. He's doing it pretty routinely in 5 or less.
Yeah. Say 3 or 4. There's not been, the walk to Knockhand in the first inning. Has anybody had a 3-ball count in this game? I don't think so.
Yeah, Daigle in the second was 3-2. Here's the 0-2. Slowly past the mound. Got to come get it. Landry does. Flips it and got him by a step. So another 1-2-3 inning for Parent, who's now set down 7 consecutive Thibodaux batters. Bottom of the 4th arrives, and it's Hahnville 2 and Thibodaux nothing. You're watching the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase at SportsNOLA.com. Bottom of the 4th inning, Hahnville on top of Thibodaux by the score of 2-0. Ken Trahan along with Lenny Van Gilder from Baudry, and Matt Benoit back to the mound to try to keep this a close game. And he'll be dealing with Josh Nunez, Bo Landry, and Mason Candies here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Benoit's come on and stabilized things in relief of Philip Benoit, who struggled with his command.
First baseman, number 13, Josh.
Nunez flied out to center his first time. That's here in the 4th. Benoit ready to go to work. And gets a strike over to Nunez.
Should mention, Ken, for all our high school baseball fans out there, we will have round of 16 action this weekend. We'll have an announcement coming in the next couple of days. You stay with us at SportsNOLA.com, but we will have some action this weekend as well.
Hooked him away, and it's even at a ball and a strike.
Of course, we already know the round of 16 matchups on the select side. There is no round of 32 there.
Taps it foul behind the plate. It's 1-2. Now, it certainly is a point that's been made continuously. I don't like this system at all. I think it's atrocious. I know I'm not alone in that thought process. Softball and baseball. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Reached out and pokes it right side out of play. Just spoiled the pitch. Nunez holding at 1-2.
It'll be interesting to see just how things play out in the early rounds here in baseball. Obviously, we've seen, particularly in softball and girls basketball, we've seen a propensity of blowouts in the early rounds.
Missing outside, it's 2-2. It's been well documented at SportsNOLA.com. And, of course, when it's over with, we'll have a thorough analysis of what took place. Now the 2-2 delivery, and that's bouncing back to the screen. Full 3-2 to Nunez. Matt Benoit entered the game, and his first two pitches were way outside and low, similar to that one, but then he really settled in. Continuing to give his team a chance here, trailing by just 2 in the fourth. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that ball by Miguez gets through into left field instead of being snagged by the third baseman.
Struck him out looking. Great pitch. Takes care of Nunez for out number 1. First strikeout recorded by Matt Benoit.
It's a hit instead of an inning-ending double play. You've got a totally different look to this baseball game right now, perhaps.
Now top of the 5th inning. 27 seed Walker 1 and 6 seed Destrehan nothing. Wow. Landry bats and held up. A pitch under the hands, 1-0. Landry walked and scored in the second.
Yeah, we went back, I guess, maybe 3 years ago or so. We did the research on top 8 seeds battling bottom 8 seeds in the first round.
Up the middle, that's going to be a base hit. Bo Landry with just the second hit of the game for the Tigers. A 1-out single to center here in the fourth.
And there were only... It was obviously, as you would expect, very dominating by the top 8 seeds, or maybe only 4 times had a bottom 8 seed won over the course of, the period since they started seeding 1 to 32, which I believe was 2008, 2009. And look, there have been some upsets along the way. We think back at that Shaw-Zachary game. Was that last year, 2 years ago?
Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. Candy's in the hole.
That was 2 years ago. Shaw was the 30, went up to Zachary, the 3 seed. Nini pitched a fabulous game, and Shaw pulled the upset in the first round.
0-1 is swung on and missed, so Benoit gets ahead. No balls and 2 strikes.
And I would say that's the difference. Baseball, maybe to a lesser degree softball, is you've got that one arm. You can't run them out there every game, but you've only got to win one game.
Benoit with a check of Landry. High with a fastball. 1-2, the upset theme continuing to a degree. Bottom of the 4th inning, the 29 seed Pine Prairie 3 and the 4 seed North Vermilion 2 in Class 3A. And the 1-2 pitch way outside back to the screen. That will get Landry to second. A wild pitch. Uncorked by Benoit. Puts a runner in scoring position with 1 out. 14-seeded Vinton leading the 19-seed Doyle 3-2 top of the 4th in Class 2A. And Central now leads Parkway 3-0 top of the 4th. High stretch position by Benoit, the 2-2 pitch, and stays alive.
And we mentioned the idea of trying to play today to give your pitcher that extra day of rest if you win going into the second round. They've got until tomorrow to play these games, and that is technically the day listed on the bracket, but that's the day you have to play your game by. So it looked like, looking at the matchups, it looked like about a 50-50 split between teams that were playing today and the ones that would play tomorrow.
2-2 pitch. Breaker down and out. Smothered by Lee to keep Landry at second. So it's full 3-2.
And then, of course, there are the teams with the byes on the select side who won't play till next Friday. Like John Curtis, Catholic, Holy Cross, Edie White, to name a few.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Ready now. Payoff pitch on the way. Pop foul. Left side. Chased but no play. Count holding at 3-2.
And in my mind, that will be one of the stories of next week, to see how these teams who have had such a long layoff respond to that. You can go one of 2 ways. You're either well rested or you're rusty. And it will certainly be something that we take a look at as we head into those quarterfinal series on the select side, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, May 5th and 6th.
Longer look. Finally, time was called just as he's about to deliver. And get a note from someone watching right now. This individual says, my family and I are watching the game supporting Thibodaux High. I'm an alum, enjoying it thoroughly. Great job. Signed, Shane Trosclair.
There you go. There you go.
Way to go, Shane.
Speaking of E.D. White, his team is the #1 seed and waiting.
Ooh, we just missed. Pretty close pitch there, but Candies gets the benefit, and he's on for the second time. 2 on, 1 out.
Stepping up to the plate, the second baseman, number 5, Lloyd Landry.
Lloyd Landry hit by a pitch, which plated a run in the second, his 6th RBI of the year.
Had the pleasure to visit E.D. White's facility a couple of weeks ago. I would say this, if you put a bracket together of everyone in Louisiana.
This is driven to left. Left fielder back, over his head. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. It's a 2-run double. And the Hahnville Tigers get it done. Did I say 2? Hahnville Tigers extend the lead. So Lloyd Landry with a double plating 1 at second and third. It's 3-0. So Landry driving in his 6th run of the year as Bo Landry scores and Candies advanced to third. So not 2 runs, but 1 run home. But a big blow, the first big blow struck of the game by Hahnville is Lloyd Landry, the 9-hole hitter, producing big time here.
Yep. He's got 2 of the 3 RBIs in this game. First one on a bases loaded hit batter, and then the double over the head of the left fielder rolled all the way back to the wall. And you never know where it's going to come from. That is the one thing you love about baseball. You never know where the offense can come from on a given day.
Turn the lineup over now, and here's Waylon LeBlanc taking a ball. LeBlanc has walked and he's popped out. Big opportunity here. The infield is in. Trying to cut down any further runs. Opens holes, though.
Hit to the outfield, might score 2.
Breaking ball hit left side, and that's through for a hit. 1 run is home. Second runner has to hold at third. He had to make it go through. So that's an RBI single for Waylon LeBlanc, and that's all about the position of the infielder. If he's back, that's a routine play, but again, if he's back, the runner from third is breaking on contact.
Yeah, and in this situation, 3 now a 4-run game in the bottom of the 4th inning. You can't allow anymore. You've got to take that risk and try to cut that run down. Talk about risks and that the completion of the suspended game a couple of weeks ago at Destrehan. Hahnville had the bases loaded with nobody out in the bottom of the 13th.
Breaking ball missing, 1-0 to Miguez, who showed bunt safety squeeze a possibility. Yeah. He struck out, and then he lined into that double play with the bases loaded to end the second inning.
Yeah, so what did Chris Muir do with the bases loaded and nobody out? He put a 5th infielder in the game.
Good call.
And got a line out and then got a strikeout to get the 2 outs, went back to normal defense, and gave up a bases loaded ball.
There's your squeeze, and the play home, not in time. Everybody's safe, and it is a 5-0 game. That's a fielder's choice and an RBI. No error on the play, just a good bunt. First baseman Talbot did the correct thing, trying to come home with the play in front of him, but simply beating the wrap and scoring on the play to make it 5-0 is Landry. So runners end up at first and second. Still only 1 out. A visit to the mound, bullpen action again. Miguez drives in his 18th run of the year.
Now you're back to the middle of the lineup here with 2 men on, with 1 out, and a chance to really break this one open right here.
Conversation ensues.
Yeah, David Baudry taking the opportunity to visit with Hunter LeBlanc. Will be up next as the Thibodaux infield and the battery visit about the situation here and looking again to shut it down right where it is. Give yourself that chance. And might be stalling for time here, might be going to the pin just to give his guy a chance to get a few more warm-up tosses. We'll see. or not. Waited for the umpire to come out to break up the meeting, but nothing doing yet. We will.
It's Hayes Talbot throwing in the bullpen. He started the game at first base, but then left when Philip Benoit moved to first. Got a lot of Benoits and a lot of Tigers here. That's all I'm saying. Central leading Parkway 3-0, bottom of the fourth inning now in 5A. 2 on, 1 out. Hunter LeBlanc has singled, fly to center. And takes it for a strike call. Long stretch position. He really freezes runners, and surprised the hitter stayed in that long, but he did, and hits a double play ball to short, booted, and everybody's safe. If Knockan comes up with it cleanly, that will likely be a double play. It's about as good of a chance at a double play as you'll get, but he could not handle it in the air. It extends the inning.
Now batting, right fielder, number 8.
Bases loaded, 1 out.
Yeah, no doubt should have handled it. Looked like he might have tried to handle a little bit of a short hop, but that was just right where he was playing, and it should have been handled routinely. And instead of inning over, perhaps, or at worst, you get a forced play and there's first and third. Now the bases are loaded and 2 outs, or 1 out, I should say, and a chance for a really big inning on the table.
Took it for a strike called. It's 0-1. Champagne is flying to left, grounded to third.
Champagne, as you mentioned earlier, an outstanding pitcher on this team, and Coach Baudry has 3 of them.
Good breaking ball, sweeps away, and he doesn't get it, and it's 0-2.
You get by this one and get to the second round, and you're in that position where you could start utilizing that pitching depth. Champagne and Vial and, of course, Perrin. That's a pretty good 1-2-3 punch based on what we've seen in terms of other pitching around the area this year.
Breaking ball swung on and missed, stayed with the pitch, and got his man. So the hook proves fortuitous for Benoit against Champagne. And that is the second out. Bases remain loaded for Austin Perrin, who's walked and scored. Well, we've said it before, but if Thibodaux wants to have any chance, they've got to get out of this inning without any further damage with the way Perrin's throwing the ball. Fouls the first out of play. It's 0-1. Runners away from every bag. 0-1 pitch. Again that way and out of play. And the count holding, or rather going to 0-2. As the young man chasing balls is pretty busy right now. Just stay over there. He's at 2 that way. 0-2 the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Perrin waiting. And here it is. High and away. 1-2. Hahnville up 5-0 now. They go to the top of the 6th. Walker 1 and Destrehan 0. Wildcats down to their last 6 outs. Breaking ball hammer left center field. That'll break this one open. 1 run home, 2 runs home. Brown a sliding stop saves another run from scoring, but it's a 2-run double for Austin Perrin, who is the master of all he surveyed here this afternoon. 7-0 Hahnville.
And I think David Baudry had a brief notion to send LeBlanc for the 3rd run right there, but thought better of it. We'll get a courtesy runner for Perrin. Once again, that will again be Farrell running down at second base.
Great play by Brown. If that ball gets by him,
right,
it's another run, but he has great speed. He slid and caught it cleanly and hustled it back in to keep the other runner from scoring. Josh Nunez started the inning. Struck out looking. That was a long time ago. Hahnville's broken it open here. right side. First baseman knocked it down. Pitcher covers. Flip is not going to get him. Error on the play. 1 run scores. Second run for the plate, and he scores. So the mistakes compound the hits, and it's 9-0 Hahnville. They've just broken it wide open here.
I believe that's got to go as an error on the first baseman. There's the throw.
It does.
It kicked away from the pitcher, and then
so the error really costly in this situation. Second of the inning. Ball should have been handled by Nunez.
Yep. And now as David Baudry visits with Bo Landry, you got to start thinking about the inevitable situation here that this is a 9-run game.
Correct.
And the 10-run mercy rule after 5. You can end this thing in 5 innings. That's 2 innings you don't have to pitch.
Down and out, runner breaks for second, no throw. And you say, why are they running here? Because of what Lenny just talked about. Trying to shorten the game, limit your pitcher's innings, get out of here as quickly as you can. That's a big run.
And no doubt. And look, if this is college baseball or pro baseball and that happens, there's going to be some not so nice words getting exchanged and some things happening out there, but that's part of high school baseball. And then with the mercy rule and trying to do what you can to end this game quickly.
Outside corner strike here, and it's 1-1 on Bo Landry, who singled and scored earlier in the inning. He's 1 for 1. 7-run inning for Hahnville.
Yeah, getting a chance here today. Only had 11 at-bats on the season coming in, but had a hit and an RBI in that game on Wednesday at Thibodaux.
Off-speed rip to right, base hit. Right fielder playing shallow gloves it. They're going to send him. Here's the throw. It's up the line. Run scores. Hahnville has a 10-0 lead on an RBI single by Bo Landry. Well, he's getting a chance, and he sure is taking advantage of it.
Yep. Might be hard-pressed to get him out of the lineup now.
Hit that ball with authority. And a 10-0 lead.
Another visit to the mound, and perhaps a hook is coming with it.
Long visit here. A long walk, I should say. Vinton 6, Doyle 3, top of the 5th inning. Pine Prairie 3, North Vermilion 2, bottom of the 5th. That's the 29 over a 4. And we're going to have our third pitcher of the game coming on here for the Thibodaux Tigers. As Matt Benoit went 2 1/3 innings, and everything came apart here in the 4th. Hahnville started to solve him, and then mistakes behind him didn't help. And so we'll get our third pitcher of the game. This is going to be Hayes Talbot, who will take over. So Talbot, a right-hander, becomes the third pitcher of the game for Thibodaux.
Yeah.
Tell us about him.
Yeah, Talbot, a senior, 5'10", 130 pounds right-hander. He's 1-2 on the year with a save. Again, much like Matt Benoit, this is the role he's been in much of the year as a reliever. Only started 3 games. This is his 11th appearance on the mound now. 24 2/3 innings of work, 28 hits, 20 runs, 17 earned. He's walked 17. He's fanned 20. The ERA is 4.82. So Talbot, the third pitcher of the afternoon for Thibodaux.
Number 2, Hayes Talbot.
And he re-enters to bring up your favorite rule of high school baseball. That
Yeah, right.
Starters can re-enter the game.
I'm going to keep speaking loudly about it until somebody pays attention. I understand it's a different level, but it's not baseball. I'm sorry. But, when you just
you have
can run for people. You can run for – you can basically run for anybody. You have you have the freedom to run for somebody once during the game, and you can always run for the catchers and the pitchers. And then, of course, you can have starters re-enter after they come out. Yeah. It's just it's too much. It's almost impossible for the fans to follow. But more than that, it kind of violates the spirit of the game. You get a guy on base and say he can't run at all. Well, you've got track stars on the bench just ready to go out there and play.
Exactly. I think what we've seen happen now is we've seen teams, instead of just using courtesy runners for pitchers and catchers, I think you've almost seen them kind of strategize a little bit in terms of what they're doing with their lineups to account for that. We've seen catchers in the leadoff spot. We've seen pitchers in the leadoff spot where if they're a decent on-base guy, great, they get on base. Now you replace him. You put a track guy out there who suddenly steals second and third, and a walk turns into a triple.
No question. This pitch missing, 1-0. Sam Houston and Chalmette are no score, top of the second inning. Their contest this afternoon, that's a 3 and a 30. Sam Houston really good from that Power League 3-5A. Outside corner strike here, and it's 1-1 to Mason Candies, who's walked and been hit by a pitch. The walk came earlier this inning, and he scored a run. 10-0. Just missing away, 2-1.
Higgins was the co-champion of that league, I believe, with
Yes,
Chalmette.
they
got the 32 seed as a result of that. Drew the right to go to West Monroe.
2-1 pitch, swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Candies. Bo Landry at first with 2 outs. Two, missing away, full 3-2. Well, should Austin Perrin continue to do what he's been doing and get Thibodaux out without any runs in the 5th, this one would be over with, and there's no doubt he's your star of the game with a big 2-run double that broke it open to go with his pitching performance. Popped him up right side, right fielder toward the line, gets there, and putting it away is Ford. And the inning ends with 12 men coming to the plate and 8 runs crossing the plate for Hahnville in the inning on 5 hits, 2 crucial errors, 1 left. They've stranded 4. Last chance coming for Thibodaux. They have to score a run, trailing 10-0 here on the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase at SportsNOLA.com. Last chance coming for Thibodaux. They trail Hahnville 5-0 as we head to the 5th. Ken Trahan, Lenny Van Gilder, Austin Perrin with just 53 pitches in 4 innings. He's walked 1, struck out 8, and has allowed just 1 hit. He will try to finish it off here in the 5th. Central now lengthening its lead. They lead Parkway 5-0 in the top of the 5th inning of their 5A contest this afternoon. Austin Ford will get it started. Struck out looking in the 2nd inning. First pitch laid off the fastball high and away, and the drama thickens. Walker has scored again. They lead Destrehan 2-0, bottom of the 6th.
Wow.
At Destrehan. Pitch missing down for a ball. It's 2-0. And reading my piece at SportsNOLA.com this morning, you'd think I must be dumb. I thought Destrehan had a great chance to win it all. Maybe they'll come back in this game. When you got the 3 pitchers they have, here's a ball driven to center field. Center fielder back there. Making the catch is Miguez. Got a good jump on it. Had it in his sights all the way. Shielding himself from the sun, and you really have to like that. Going toward left center, making sure that the sun wasn't a factor. Measured it all the way and turned away from the sun and made the catch easily.
Well, this is your home park, and if you should know how the sun plays anywhere, it should be here. And again, the sun is going to set off behind the trees to the to the left field side here, down the third baseline. And shadows really haven't been a factor here today. We've still got plenty of sunlight.
Breaking ball, good pitch. Perrin gets ahead of Barlow, who has the only hit of the game. He singled to center right over the second base bag back in the second inning for Thibodaux. Took another good breaking ball, strike called 0-2. And Perrin working quickly, smartly, easily, comfortably, and dominantly. And that's a lot of leads. I'm out of them, frankly. Oh, there's another. Sorry. Struck him out swinging.
About to be victoriously.
And Lenny will head down to talk to the winners here. 2 outs in the inning. Last chance is Bryce Daigle, who struck out swinging in the second inning.
Up to bat, number 9.
And we'll just
Bryce
hand
Daigle.
signal you when we're ready. So 2 gone. Daigle struck out swinging in the second. First on the way. Off the end of the bat, foul. Daigle is in the hole. This is good news for Hahnville in every way imaginable. Limit Perrin's pitch count, limit his innings. Lenny talked about the rule stipulation earlier. Makes a big difference. 0-1. Missing away, 1-1. He puts himself in a very good position. They're trying to finish this off right here. Up the middle, Perrin's got it. This should do it. Runs toward first, underhands it there. And the Hahnville Tigers have defeated the Thibodaux Tigers in dominant fashion here this afternoon by the score of 10-0 on a one-hitter by Austin Perrin as he strikes out 9. And the 8-seeded Hahnville Tigers, very impressive over Thibodaux this afternoon as they dominated really from the start and win it 10-0. And Lenny Van Gelder will get into place to go talk to David Baudry and Austin Perrin here. What a job by Austin Perrin, the senior, 2-sport star, quarterback the football team this year. And here in baseball, his real sport, he's just been outstanding all year long once again. Walked 1, struck out 9, and pitched a one-hitter in the process. And Lenny is getting in a position to take care of business there. And as he does, we'll pick up on him here momentarily once he's able to line him up. So players continuing to take care of business, and we'll get Perrin over there as soon as we can get him. David Baudry waiting for his players to shake hands, and he's doing that right now, yelling at them to get into position, and we'll have that for you momentarily. So Hahnville wins it by the score of 10-0, and here comes Austin Perrin. So we're going to go ahead and talk to David Baudry and Lenny Van Gelder now. Lenny, take it away.
All right, Ken, thank you very much. Start with head coach David Baudry. This is probably exactly what you would ask for. 5 innings, and you're out of here and on to the second round.
No doubt. I mean, this guy right here makes it really easy. Limiting any chance that they had, to score runs, and we were patient at the plate, and it finally paid off in the 4th.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, it's 2-0. You had a chance to add on more there in the second inning. You get the line-out double play, and it's staying 2-0 until the 4th. You finally were able to put some at-bats together and make some things happen there.
Yeah, no doubt. And a lot of times when they change pitchers in the middle of an inning or something like that, it takes you a while to adjust, and I think it took us one at bat to see, what he had, and then, in the 4th inning we were really good.
Austin, how conscious were you of trying to get out there and hang zeros and make quick work on this afternoon?
I'm not going to lie. In the first couple innings, I was kind of still nervous, even though I've started playoffs before. But you just got to really play one play at a time.
Well, now you can look ahead to the second round, and I know you've had a chance to see Sulphur, if it ends up being Sulphur indeed, if the seeds hold an 8-9 matchup, and a chance to have them here on your home field again for a second-round matchup. How exciting is that?
Oh, it's always great to play in the second round at home, and we just got to go out there and play our game no matter who we play.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. Best of luck, and we will see you down the road. All right, Ken, back upstairs.
All right, Lenny, great job. Thanks to Dave Baudry and Austin Perrin for stopping by and visiting with Lenny Van Gelder as the Thibodaux Tigers gave it all they could, but just not enough to overcome a better team here. The Hahnville Tigers win it by the score of 10-0 this afternoon. Here are the totals of the game. For Hahnville, 10 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and 4 men left on base. And for the Thibodaux Tigers, no runs, 1 hit, 2 errors, and they leave 1 man On base, the winning pitcher, Austin Perrin, a 5-inning one-hitter, walked 1, struck out 9, improves to 7-2 on the year with a splendid performance, but not surprising for Austin Perrin. The losing pitcher, the starter, Philip Benoit, went an inning and a third. He drops to 2-5 with the defeat. Matt Benoit went 2 1/3 innings, and Hayes Talbot finished up pitching a third of an inning for the Thibodaux Tigers. The game took all of an hour and 23 minutes to play, and the Hahnville Tigers win it by the score of 10-0 over the Thibodaux Tigers here this afternoon. And as mentioned, they move on now to the regional round of the playoffs, where they will take on the winner of the matchup that's taking place in about 35 minutes or so, as 24th seed Lafayette, the Lions, are at Sulphur to take on the 9th-seeded Tours. Again, that's a 6 o'clock start, and the winner of that one will come here to Hahnville. Sulphur, though, certainly the favorite, but you never know with the district matchup. Hahnville in good shape to host in the second round. Now that becomes a best-of-3 series in the second round, so it becomes more challenging. And as mentioned earlier, Hahnville played Sulphur very recently, so this is a familiarity situation if, in fact, that turns out to be the matchup. So, again, a very solid performance by Hahnville. They took care of business, winning this one by the score of 10-0. And we should update you now. Top of the 7th inning. Walker 2, Destrehan, nothing. So, what an upset brewing there for the 27th seed over the 6th. And now Chalmette and Sam Houston no score, bottom of the second in their game in 5A this afternoon. Lenny, final thoughts about what we saw here today?
I think we saw a lot what we expected. Dominant Austin Perrin, and then finally the Hahnville offense got some things going, and they were, we didn't necessarily think this was going to end in 5. Certainly they had the capabilities of doing it, as they showed the last time these teams met. The first time was a 3-0 game. In fact, Perrin had to come in and pitch the 7th inning to get a save. But it, we saw what we have seen for so long from Perrin on the mound, and then finally, as David Baudry mentioned, they finally put some at-bats together. The offense got it going and broke things open in the 4th inning to the point where you could get out of here after 4.5. A solid performance all the way around by Hahnville.
Yep, and a tidy performance. Only took an hour and 23 minutes. And again, the importance here is that Austin Perrin limits his innings to 5. So that really helps with the rules that you talked about a little bit earlier. Not only does Hahnville save pitching, they save their best pitcher, who only has to throw 5 innings here this afternoon and use just 62 pitches.
Yeah, he'll be in good shape. I would imagine he will get the ball on Friday in Game 1. If not, he will go on Saturday in Game 2 if he feels like he needs an extra day. But David Baudry's got some pitching depth. There's no doubt about that. He's got 3 guys who can go out there and compete with just about anybody in the state. And Perrin can beat certainly anybody in the state. And that gives you a chance in these best-of-3 series now. And then when you do get back, if you're fortunate enough to win this series and win the next series, you've got that one ace that can go out there and beat anybody when you get back in a knockout situation like this first round was.
Well, the third time wasn't the charm for Thibodaux. That's always a concern for a team having to beat a team for a third time. The better team won here this evening as Hahnville defeats Thibodaux 10-0 here in Baudry. Lenny, it's been a pleasure, and obviously we look forward to bringing some more action to our viewers at SportsNOLA.com this weekend.
Yes, we will have something for you Friday and Saturday. Stay tuned to SportsNOLA.com. We will have more details on exactly what is coming in the round of 16 Friday and Saturday.
That's going to do it for us this afternoon. Once again, our final score was Hahnville 10 and Thibodaux nothing in 5 innings. Now, this is Ken Trahan for Lenny Van Gilder and our entire crew at SportsNOLA.com saying thank you for joining us this afternoon, and be a good sport. For First NBC Bank and its Prep Showcase, God bless you one and all. We are rounding third and heading home. So long.